Imagine looking into the deepest, darkest corner of the night sky, past the stars, past the familiar galaxies, right to the very edge of everything we know. Now, imagine finding something there that shouldn't exist. Something so unimaginably vast, so colossally heavy, that its mere presence threatens to tear down every law of physics we have spent centuries building. It is not just a scientific anomaly, it is an existential threat to our understanding of reality. For generations, humanity has clung to a comforting lie, the belief that the universe is orderly, predictable, and ultimately knowable. We constructed the cosmological principle, a mathematical security blanket assuring us that on a grand scale, the cosmos is smooth, uniform, and balanced. We convinced ourselves that we lived in a grand, harmonious machine. But out there, lurking in the freezing, absolute silence of the cosmic dawn, lies a colossal, jagged scar of matter, a structure so impossibly massive it shatters that fragile illusion. When astronomers first stared into that ancient abyss and saw this impossible monolith, they didn't just feel curiosity. They felt a cold, paralyzing dread. It is the primal terror of the unknown, the realization that our math is blind, and our physics are broken. Why does this giant shape evoke such a deep, visceral shudder within us? Because it triggers our most ancient psychological fear, the horror of absolute insignificance. We are suddenly forced to confront the terrifying possibility that we are not the masters of a neat, orderly cosmos, but merely microscopic dust mites crawling on a speck of debris, utterly blind to the true, monstrous mechanics of the universe. This structure is a silent monument to our ignorance. It whispers to us from 9 billion years in the past, its cold gravity pulling at the edges of our sanity, demanding that we accept a horrifying truth. The universe does not care about our laws. It does not play by our rules. And we are trapped in a dark room with a giant we cannot see, cannot comprehend, and can never hope to control. Look into the deepest, coldest dark of the cosmos, and you will find that our most sacred laws of reality are beginning to fracture. For nearly a century, modern cosmology has rested upon a single, unshakable dogma, the cosmological principle. It is the comforting mathematical promise that on a grand scale, the universe is homogeneous and isotropic. It tells us that no matter where you stand in this infinite void, the cosmic tapestry looks the same. It is a law of supreme order, assuring us that the universe is a smooth, predictable ocean of dust and light. But out at the absolute edge of the observable universe, something impossible is staring back at us. Astronomers, peering through the freezing silence of deep space, have collided with structures of unimaginable, terrifying scale. The giant arc. The Big Ring. Colossal, structured skeletons of galaxies stretching over billions of light-years. They are so unimaginably vast that they should not exist. To put their size into perspective, if you could see the giant arc in our night sky with the naked eye, it would span a terrifying portion of the horizon, dwarfing the moon, frozen like a scar across the heavens. These are not mere clusters of stars, they are cosmic anomalies that shatter our understanding of physics. According to our mathematical models of the Big Bang, there simply has not been enough time in the 13.8 billion years of cosmic history for gravity to pull together structures of this magnitude. Their very existence is a violent contradiction. It is a silent, existential nightmare for physics. If these ultra-large structures exist, then the cosmological principle is a lie. And if that foundational law is broken, the entire mathematical scaffolding we have built to understand gravity, space, and the birth of time itself collapses into worthless equations. We are left staring into a dark, incomprehensible abyss. Are we looking at the colossal fingerprints of a physics we cannot comprehend? Or worse, is our universe not a smooth, uniform expanse, but a fractured, chaotic wilderness where the laws of nature change depending on how deep you dare to look? The cosmic horizon is no longer a boundary of discovery. It has become a mirror reflecting our profound, terrifying ignorance. Look at your hands. Touch the wall beside you. Feel the reassuring weight of the floor beneath your feet. For centuries, we comforted ourselves with the elegant equations of Newton and Einstein, believing we had decoded the blueprint of reality. We convinced ourselves that the universe was a predictable machine, and we, its clever observers. But that was a lie. A fragile, desperate illusion whispered in the dark to keep the cold away. Out there, at the bleeding edge of the observable void, sits a colossal architecture that should not exist. It does not merely defy our science, it shatters it. This is where the true terror begins. It is not the fear of predatory aliens or burning stars, but a paralyzing, suffocating wave of megalophobia and kenophobia. We are forced to look into an ocean of absolute nothingness, only to realize that the darkness is structured. The universe is not a chaotic, beautifully random mist. It has walls. It has bones. It has an immense, organized shape so incomprehensibly massive that it reduces our entire observable sky to a microscopic speck of dust. If our physics is broken, then we are completely blind. We are helpless passengers trapped on a derelict vessel drifting through a cosmic ocean, governed by rules we can no longer comprehend. Every telescope we point into the deep is just a trembling candle held up to an infinite, hostile darkness. What if the laws of nature we spent millennia cataloging are nothing more than a localized glitch? A tiny, temporary pocket of calm in a roaring, chaotic nightmare? Worse still is the creeping, existential dread of intention. When you look at a structure that spans billions of light-years, a shape that violates the very cosmic principle of uniformity, you must ask, why is it there? Such colossal geometry does not happen by accident. It suggests a design. But it is a design that completely ignores us. We are not even an afterthought in this gargantuan blueprint. We are merely microscopic bacteria clinging to a wet speck of dust, drifting through a titanic, cosmic engine built by something or someone utterly beyond our comprehension. We are staring into the face of a reality that does not know we exist, and would not care if we cease to be. Sleep tight tonight, knowing that the sky above you is not empty. It is occupied by a scale of existence that makes our entire history look like a silent, forgotten breath. The cosmos was supposed to be predictable. We built our most advanced physics on a single, comforting promise, the cosmological principle. It whispered to us that if we looked far enough into the dark, the universe would smooth out. It promised that no matter where you stood, the fabric of reality would look the same, governed by the same cosmic laws, draped in an elegant, even distribution of matter. But out there, at the absolute edge of our reach, that elegant promise has been shattered. Imagine a shape so colossal it makes entire superclusters of galaxies look like mere specks of dust. A structure stretching over 4 billion light-years across, bending the very curvature of spacetime. It is a jagged, impossible scar across the deep dark, a silent leviathan that should not exist. It defies every equation we have ever written. It laughs at our standard model of cosmology, reducing our most cherished theories to fragile glass. How do we comprehend something that physically breaks our understanding of reality? To look upon this structure is to feel a cold, creeping dread pool in the stomach. It is the realization that we are not just looking at stars and gas, we are looking at a monstrous anomaly. It hangs in the freezing void like a colossal shadow, breathing a terrifying truth into the silence. We do not know what the universe is. We are like children drawing maps of an ocean by looking only at the wet sand at our feet, entirely blind to the leviathans churning in the abyssal depths just beyond the horizon. What forces could have gathered so much matter into a single, forbidden alignment? Is it a relic of a primordial universe, a tear in the fabric of the cosmos left behind from the violent birth of time itself? Or is it something far more unsettling? Perhaps it is the gravitational footprint of another universe altogether, pressing against the thin, fragile walls of our own reality, leaking its alien physics into our sky. Every telescope we point at this cosmic giant returns the same silent, terrifying answer. The universe is not a harmonious, predictable machine. It is a wild, untamed, and deeply indifferent abyss. As we stare into this colossal structure, we are forced to confront our own profound insignificance. We are trapped on a tiny, fragile speck of dust, screaming into a void that does not care about our laws of physics. The deeper we look, the more we realize that the dark does not just hide secrets. It hides monsters of scale so vast, they threaten to erase everything we thought we knew about existence itself. We used to think the universe was a masterpiece of perfect, elegant chaos. A cosmic tapestry woven so finely that, no matter where you pointed your telescopes, the fabric of reality remained beautifully, predictably uniform. We called it the cosmological principle. It was our security blanket. It whispered to us that the laws of physics we discovered in our quiet, sunlit corner of the galaxy were absolute, governing every atom across the infinite dark. But then, we looked too far. At the absolute edge of observable space, where light itself is tired and ancient, we stumbled upon something that shouldn't exist. A shape. An impossible, colossal scar stretching across the deep. It is a cosmic wall of galaxies so gargantuan, so mind-bendingly massive, that it completely defies the mathematical limits of our universe. It is a structure that took shape when the cosmos was mere infancy, a time when gravity should not have had the strength, nor the time, to sculpt anything of this magnitude. To look at this structure is to feel a cold, primal dread. It is like walking through a dark, empty forest and suddenly finding a perfectly straight, towering concrete wall cutting through the wilderness. It does not belong here. It violates the rules of the game. This is the glitch in the cosmic background. For decades, our finest minds stared at the cosmic microwave background, the fading, relic radiation of the Big Bang itself. We treated it like the universe's fingerprint, a snapshot of the moment creation began. But as our instruments grew sharper, the static started to whisper. There are cold spots where there should be warmth. There are alignments, massive flows of matter, dragging entire clusters of galaxies toward an unseen, monstrous gravity well just beyond our cosmic horizon. It is as if some colossal, invisible hand is reaching into our universe from the outside, pulling our reality toward a terrifying, unknown destination. What if the universe is not a self-contained bubble of elegant physics? What if the laws we wrote in stone are merely local anomalies, temporary rules of a sandbox we are about to outgrow? As we stare into this gargantuan anomaly at the edge of the dark, the horrifying truth begins to crystallize. We are not looking at a natural evolution of stars and gas. We are looking at a tear in the canvas. A structural error in the machine. And as the cosmic background continues to glitch, we must confront the ultimate, existential terror. What happens to the inhabitants of a simulation when the program itself begins to break?